Yeah, I don't know why. Robert J. O'Neill, Mick Huya, a moot of mine, a Twitter moot. He's been a follower of the HasanAbi broadcast in perpetuity in quite some time. So I don't know why he has done that. Maybe he wants to eat me and have sex with me as well. Update on the concubine guy.
So apparently some stuff on social media had come up because I made a comment about Harry Hasan, who might be the most beta male on the planet. He and 3 or 4 of his cunty little friends got together and they put out a thing that said, real men vote for Harris.
Who the trap lord? Dude, this is crazy. Okay? I can't believe this man is like quintupling down. I've never seen something like this before in my entire damn life. This is the guy who claimed he killed bin Laden. Like, there's nothing crazy. I cannot comprehend how you behave like this. I don't know how you feel confident enough to behave like this. It just don't, it makes no dang sense, man. It makes no dang sense. He also follows me. Yeah, I don't know why. Robert J. O'Neill, Mick Huya, a moot of mine, a Twitter moot. He's been a follower of the HasanAbi broadcast in perpetuity in quite some time. So I don't know why he has done that. Maybe he wants to eat me and have sex with me as well. Seemingly he has come out on Twitter as a gay man, which is really weird. It's a really weird thing to just openly admit for no particular reason. I don't really understand why any dang person would be doing the dang thing, but he's done did it. Your ass, Alex Jones, yeah, that type of shit. But yeah, this man who was part of SEAL Team 6 his claim to fame is shooting Osama bin Laden, and many of the other SEAL Team people have said that they've called into question whether that's real or not. Was saying he's gonna eat and also rape these young boys for the crime of being pro-Democratic Party, I think. He said, we're Gen Z voters and we're all proudly voting for Kamala Harris. Real men support Harris. That's what they said. You got all my favorite debate guys in here. You got Harry Hasan, and then you have this fucking weirdo freak being like, you're not men, you're boys. If there was no social media, you would be my concubines. Oh, Puddin, you're so sweet. That's what he said. First time I've ever seen someone quintuple down on telling everyone that they want to sexually assault young boys. Yeah. I don't know what's happening with this guy, but there's a real crisis. Within the conservative movement, I think, lately. And that crisis is almost entirely born out of the reality that they've bought Twitter and they're just like, their brain is getting perma-fried. Like on Facebook, their brains were being fried already, but that was kept in a containment zone. People under the age of 78 were not getting their news and information from there. You were not interacting with them, right? That was like the containment zone for everybody. And then Elon Musk bought Twitter and then turned Twitter into 4chan, which is like Facebook, but also more Nazi focused. It's like if your special interest is being a white nationalist nerd, then, Twitter is the platform for you now. And I think that has created this weird feedback loop for a lot of these Republicans who personally think like, yeah, no, this shit bangs. Like I got 20,000 likes when I said I'm going to sexually assault these young men. So I think other people agree with me. And it causes people to lose track of their humanity. It causes people to lose track of what they consider to be like normal behavior, because in the real world, if this man were to say such a thing to people, he would go to jail. Like literally, he would be like, imagine if he walked up to a bunch of young boys who had just voted for Kamala Harris and he was like, I'm going to sexual intercourse forcibly with you and then eat you potentially and turn you into a concubine. You would call the authorities and then he'd probably have like a very crazy suicide by cop style situation, I assume, because he's definitely not mentally well. But like, it would be handled differently in the real world is my point, right? Like, I don't think this person does stuff like this in the real world. And if he does stuff like this in the real world, there's probably some repercussions for it, whether legal or some sort of repercussion, right? At the very least, people will probably look at him and go, "You're gross. You're a gross person." But this is a broader conversation about the internet. This is a broader conversation about our little hug boxes, our echo chambers that we have cultivated online. And I guess what I'm trying to say is today is a day where we shall see whose echo chamber was right. Because as fans of the show who have been paying attention, tuning in and out closely, as friends of the show that are, watching, might have paid attention. I personally believe that despite my criticisms, despite my anger, dare I say resentment of the Democratic Party, I have said that Kamala Harris is most likely slated to win the election today. Now, if you were to talk to your friends, your peers, especially considering that this is a under 35, heavily male-dominated space, you would get a very different attitude. And that's because a lot of people who are online, or a lot of people who are communicating exclusively with one another online, or even people in our age demographic are, I think, more openly in the tank for Trump than anybody else, right? So that's something that you got to remember. So I think that our own personal involvement in these spaces where people are more likely to be Trump supporters kind of clouds our judgment. This is something that I try to evade every single day, right? I try to look at polls for this reason, and I try to develop a better understanding of what the broader electorate is looking at, right? What they are thinking about, what their anger and resentment and frustration revolves around. So we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, let's take a look.
So apparently some stuff on social media had come up because I made a comment about Harry Hasan, who might be the most beta male on the planet. He and 3 or 4 of his cunty little friends got together and they put out a thing that said, "Real men vote for Harris." I noticed their ages too, and I responded that you're not men, you're boys, and you're my concubines in the real world. And what I meant with that is, yeah, you would be. You don't know how to fight, you've never known how to fight, and I basically will do whatever I want with you. So that's all I meant. Wasn't trying to insult anybody or whatever, but trust me, guys like Harry Hasan couldn't do a goddamn thing. They'd be running for guys like me to save them. So basically, saying concubine.
Harris wins the popular vote. Electoral College sides with Trump, though. That's my hard read if things go bad. There's no reason Trump would win the popular vote. I disagree with you. There is a likelihood that Trump wins the popular vote but loses the Electoral College. That is a likelihood. It's all about turnout in this election. It seems might favor, at least if you look at past performance, if you look at like the polling, in terms of low propensity and mid propensity voters who are notoriously more difficult to track down, they say Donald Trump. They say Donald Trump by pretty fucking wide margins. So for that reason, this is a very unique situation. Anyway, going back to this, I like that he's doubling down about his like sexual assault threat and saying like, nah, you don't understand. Like I simply meant to assault you because you are beta.
Damn thing. They'd be running for guys like me to save them. So basically, saying concubine means a slave, and Hasan is apparently French for cunt.
Bro, you are like 60 years old, man. You're 60 years old. You lived a whole life. You are like multiple divorce champion over here beefing with a child. Okay? And also like physically threatening this kid. Like, the fuck is wrong with you? You know, I'll tell you this much. There's a new crop of TikTok debaters out there. Some of them I agree with and I really like and I cherish. Some of them I might not agree with all the time, but it doesn't really matter because I'm not a fucking psychopath who goes, "Oh, I disagree with you, so I'm going to eat you." Okay? I don't understand what causes someone to just be like, "I disagree with you and I'm going to keep it at that," you know? Or I disagree with you and I'm just simply going to say why I disagree with you. We can never do that anymore, okay? God forbid. Everything fucking turns into politics. And one side of the political spectrum literally will just go, I'm going to send a mail bomb to your house. That's where we're at. That is now officially where we're at. Back in the day, 10 years ago, if you were like a progressive, socialist, leftist, online content creator, no matter how small or how big you were, okay, let's say maybe you potentially worked at the Young Turks. Now, I feel like the 4chanification of political discourse has finally run its course. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to be like a TYT content creator or some shit to be able to get the ire of the Republican psychopaths. And it's no longer relegated to like anonymous online forums. Now, the average Republican is operating like this. And it's very weird. Very fucking weird that is now the new norm. You're like, Donald Trump's going to be like, hey, guess what, dude? Springfield, Ohio, those Haitians, they're eating cats and dogs. Insanely racist sentiment. No evidence whatsoever for this. All of a sudden, boom, bomb threats, okay? Matt Walsh decides like the Boston Children's Hospital is actually doing, it's transing the children. No evidence for this whatsoever. He just lied. Doesn't matter. Boom, bomb threats. We got to shut down the hospital for the week. And I don't know where we go from here. And I don't also know what we do with half the country basically hallucinating an alternative reality where they legitimately think, for example, illegal immigrants are being shipped specifically to fucking swing states so they can vote illegally for the Democratic Party. This right here is insane. This is made up. Like, that's a made up thing. You just made that shit up. And now people believe you. Why am I saying this? Well, it goes back to the conversation I was having with FaZe Banks last night. Okay, FaZe Banks and myself had a conversation after he, said he's voting for Donald Trump. He's endorsing Donald Trump, whatever, bold, brave, bold, and dare I say, a little bit scary. I will admit, a little bit scary. And I'll tell you exactly why in a second. But part of the reason why he said that is because he watched a Joe Rogan interview with Elon Musk. And in this interview, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk were having a conversation in which Elon Musk just straight up fucking lied.